With all the DLCs put together, there is a total of 75 DLC characters, so why don't we take a look at every single DLC pack and, well, rank them from worst to best. Cue the music. So, hello there guys, I am RuggedEagle and welcome to my channel. First off, I really just want to say a massive thank you to TT Games alongside Warner Bros for allowing me to show off these brand new DLCs. That being the Kenobi DLC alongside Andor, Summer Vacation, Star Wars Rebels, Book of Boba Fett, and well, for the next one, give us the Clone Wars theme, the Clone Wars. And well, talking about the Clone Wars, coming in at the bottom of the list is the Trooper Pack. You know, because it features clones, in a way. This DLC definitely feels like it should have been part of the base game. With all of the troopers falling under the villain class, they all share the same abilities, but I do go to respect how for the most part, they attempted to make them all stand out from each other. Even to the likes of the minor details, such as the Death Troopers E11D making a different sound effect for that blaster. Which is a nice touch, obviously not using the universal blaster sound effect, he's actually got his own unique blaster sound effect. Then you've got the likes of the Incinerator Trooper who for some reason decides to shoot fire beneath him and then falls straight into his fire, which I don't really make sense of it, but yeah, it works. Though he's not the sharpest tool in this shed, he is definitely my favourite character in this DLC. I really love his ability where he can spark people out, literally. And well, in all honesty, one of the best things about them all falling under the villain class is they have some of the greatest counter-attack animations. To the likes of where the Incinerator Trooper just kicks a detonator at a Stormtrooper. Considering just how impeccable these character models are, it is definitely worthy of being a DLC for the most part. The two standout troopers being the Death Trooper with his unique blaster sound effect alongside the Incinerator Trooper because, you know, he has a flamethrower. The other three, in all honesty, are very generic as they all feel the same except from their amazing character models, that being the Minband Trooper, the Shore Trooper, and finally the Range Trooper. I am Cassian Andor. You know what, that weren't even that bad, that impression. Next up at number 12 is, well, Andor. For me, Andor is my favourite Star Wars TV show, and I love the darker tone of Star Wars, and it definitely hurt me to place Andor this low on the list, as the characters just feel a little bit bland. This is obviously in terms of them depicting the characters within LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, as in the show they are not bland at all, they are all incredible characters. Especially when you go to compare this one to the other brand new DLCs such as Clone Wars, on which you have Ventress as a playable character, Book of Boba Fett, you have Cad Bane. And the main standout character in this one is Bix Caleen, mainly due to the weapon they chose to give Bix Caleen, which is a wrench. I mean, the sound design on the wrench is brutal, I mean, listen to it. Oh, I don't know if it's blunt force or is it sharp. I don't know. And funnily enough, Bix is actually a scavenger character, which is quite rare to see because the scavenger class is the smallest character class in the Skywalker Saga. So that's a nice added bonus. The other characters included in the DLC is Andor, who falls under the hero class alongside Dedra Meero, who is a villain, Luthen, a hero, and finally Cyril Khan, a villain. Taking a look at all of the characters included in the Andor DLC, it is really nice to have these characters available in the game, but a lot of them just wield a blaster and fall under either the hero class or the villain class, with the one exception being Bix Caleen. Out of all of the 6 DLCs included in the Galactic Edition, this is definitely by far the weakest one, but the others are very strong. Even Summer Vacation, I mean, look at Palpatine in his bathing suit, I mean, oh. Anyway, Chewie hit the hyperdrive. Next up at number 11 is Solo.
Malabite Casamile Solo.
Again with another impression, I'm pretty proud of me jabber. Anyway, this DLC character pack is one of the only few DLC character packs to include a whopping total of 6 DLC characters. Included in the DLC is Han Solo young, Lando Calrissian young, Chewbacca young, Kara, Tobias Beckett, and Enfys Nest. A very strange name. Now, every time I look at the Chewbacca young model, I just think it's really inferior to its predecessor, even dating back to the complete Saga's Chewbacca. It just looks really strange. Mind you, saying all of this though, they have recently surpassed all of the Wookiee models to date with the recent Black Chrysanthemum. I mean, look how amazing he looks. For some reason though, from behind, he kind of reminds me of the Predator. The majority of these characters all fall under the Scoundrel class, and I do go to enjoy that because you can slide ride around as all of these characters as much as you want, especially Woody Harrelson. Otherwise known as Tobias Beckett, he's one of the only few scoundrels to dual wield, and it does look pretty awesome sliding around dual wielding. Considering the characters chosen for this DLC, it was a major disappointment to not see Paul Bettany's character of Dryden Voss in the game, who could have been a major standout character in the DLC wielding his energetic dagger. Then there is Kara, who is rather disappointing in all honesty, and maybe my least favourite DLC character among them all. She just feels a little bit underdeveloped, and it doesn't really match the appearance of the actor, that being obviously Emilia Clarke. And with the Rogue One DLC pack having a total of 7 characters, I really feel like this should have been the case for Solo. We either could have had Dryden Voss or even Maul in his Crimson Dawn attire. And funnily enough, we do actually have that variation now with the Clone Wars DLC. It is now time to take a trip down memory lane, as next up at number 10 is classic characters. For me, I avidly enjoy this DLC, just seeing the nostalgic appearances for my beloved characters, and in terms of abilities, they do not offer anything new, it's just simply new appearances. Well, I say new, I mean classic appearances. The following characters who have a classic appearance is Han Solo, Luke, Leia, Ben Kenobi, alongside Lando, and finally, Vader. And yes, Ben Kenobi is separate, he is kind of like a pre-order bonus, but he's still a classic character. In terms of their movesets and obviously all of their animations, they are the exact same as their counterparts in the game. I mean, who does not love the amazing megaphone blaster with the little stud attached to the end of it? Now, like I mentioned earlier, I do avidly enjoy this DLC, and purely down to their appearances, I definitely think it is worthy of this position. And there's just something so heartwarming about being them, very similar to the classic space DLC in LEGO Worlds with the old classic astronauts. It's got the same feeling. In the summertime, when the weather is high, you can reach right up and touch the sky. Oh yeah, next up is the Summer Vacation DLC, and let me just start off by saying the outfits are just absolutely hilarious alongside just plain ridiculous. You have the likes of Vader removing his helmet to try and get a tan. What's the point? No one's gonna see it. I mean, you've got to admit though, the printing on his tank top is amazing. You've got the Death Star replicating the sun with loads of palm trees. This may be my favourite Vader appearance. Then you've got the newer style aesthetic for Obi-Wan from the Kenobi show in his tropical t-shirt. Now, I don't know which one I prefer. You've got Obi-Wan's Hawaiian shirt, and then you've got Finn in his Hawaiian shirt. Then behold, wait for it, good old Palp in his bathing suit. I mean, damn, look at him. It's incredible. Then there is R2-D2, who did not get the memo. It's not Christmas, mate, it's summer, but oh well. I don't know why, but I was absolutely bewildered on how hilarious this DLC was, and it's definitely worthy of this position because, I mean, who does not want to rock a Hawaiian shirt as Obi-Wan? Like, hello. Now, I did forget to mention this earlier on. If you have gone to enjoy this video, a like would be mega appreciated. Thank you all so much for the support. Anyway, let's move on. And coming in at number 8 is the not so bad Bad Batch, and that is the Bad Batch. Now, I am well aware a lot of people do not rate the Bad Batch DLC all too fondly within this game. And while yes, this is totally understandable because for the most part a lot of the Bad Batch really aren't represented on how they are portrayed in the actual show. The standard for this being Echo. It is a real shame what they did to Echo really, because this character is really lackluster. There is no reason to be Echo. He can't even do panels or droid terminals, on which he should have been able to do. Then you have the likes of Tech, who I really do love the actual appearance for his character model and how he dual wields consecutively, which is a real nice touch. And then there's Crosshair, who is fine in all honesty. I really wish his weapon felt a little bit more like a sniper to help resemble his character even more, even if they made it very similar to Chewbacca's Bowcaster, where it's slow fire rate but high damage. Then you have the other two members of the Bad Batch left, who is obviously Hunter and Wrecker. And these two are definitely the main standouts in the DLC. Now, Hunter, for the most part, is actually very, very unique. He has his electric dagger, which is really awesome. It electrocutes the enemies, and it's just so fun to use. Along with his own slam attack, and it just really overshadows Echo. Like, what is the point in being Echo when you've got Hunter? I'm sorry, Echo. I'm so sorry. Then you have the madman himself, Wrecker, who literally demolishes everything in his path. He's a unit. Now, you're probably sat there thinking, what makes Wrecker a unit? Well, they decided to increase his fire rate upon his blaster, so he literally just decimates everything, making him, well, a very useful character in clearing out rooms, and that really is all about going for Wrecker. I really wish they went to give him some unique idle animations, but overall, the Bad Batch is a pretty solid DLC. It's not that bad. Now, from here on, all of the DLCs get very, very good, and well, up next is something absolutely amazing that you definitely do need, and that's a LEGO lightsaber. And after speaking to OwnASaber, it is really incredible that we are actually giving away a few LEGO lightsabers, or any of the other lightsabers they have to offer. If you go over to their Instagram and share a picture of you in your Halloween costume with a lightsaber using this hashtag, you have a chance of winning a lightsaber alongside some discount codes, and make sure you use this hashtag here. And just in case you do not own a lightsaber from OwnASaber, just post a picture of you in your Halloween costume and you could have a chance of winning one. And it's just amazing how that isn't just one giveaway, we are actually giving away quite a few, and if you do use code RUG, you can just get 20% off at checkout. And there is a lot more details in the description, and I really just want to say a massive thank you to OwnASaber for allowing us to do this. Anyway, next up is Rogue One. Though this may seem like not such a big surprise, Rogue One is actually the largest LEGO game DLC pack in the Skywalker Saga, consisting of a total of 7 DLC characters. Now, though the DLC does go to have the quantity, does it have the quality? And yes, in some regard it does, because a lot of the characters do go to have their own unique animations, but there are a few that are a little bit lackluster, such as Baze Malbus. Like, what is the point in carrying this massive backpack for your weapon if it just fires the exact same as any other blaster? Then there is Body Rook. Yeah, not much to say really. Then there is K2SO, who is exceptionally impressive. Even by the likes of his character model, you can just see that this character was built from the ground up. This in all sense really sets the standard of what a DLC character should be in the Skywalker Saga, through the likes of his unique fighting animations, how he holds and fires a blaster. And his blaster has its own sound effect, I mean, come on. Then to make it even better, he also has his own unique counter-attack animation where he grabs him by the neck. And it seems like K2SO is really carrying the Rogue One DLC pack, and he just puts it at this position because this character is so incredibly dope. The other characters such as Director Krennic, Andor, Jyn Erso, they all have their unique animations too, and they all fight the exact same and have a blaster, but it's nice to see them having their own unique animations. Finally, there is Shirrut, who has his own unique animations for when he's running with his gigantic staff. And he does have a very, 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 very snazzy bowcaster. And well, next up is bum ba dum bum ba dum bum 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 bum. The Book of Boba Fett. Though it's called the Book of Boba Fett is not in the DLC, but included in the DLC is Peli Motto, Black Chrysanthemum, the Armourer, CAD to the BANE, Cad Bane, then Cobb Vanth, who is looking very snazzy. Look how amazing that character model is. Starting things off with, I really love Peli Motto, who is the exact same as Bix Colleen, the main standout for me in the Andor pack. Well, Peli Motto has a wrench too. Now, you can't lie, it would have been amazing if her weapon was Baby Grogu in her arms. You know, just use the LEGO Worlds teddy bear fighting animation, that would have been golden. Another addition to the Book of Boba Fett DLC was the Armourer, which is a really nice change. As for the most part, all of the other Mandalorian characters in the game actually wield a blaster, and the Armourer is different because she wields a hammer. In addition to this, she also has her own standout idle animation where she pulls out a piece of Beskar, then starts scraping her hand down it, then she goes to hug it. Nice. The character we have been waiting centuries for is finally here, and that is Cad Bane. I am sure this will resonate with quite a few of you. This character had such a prominent role in one of my all-time favourite LEGO games, that being LEGO Star Wars 3, and it's so good to finally see him in the Skywalker Saga. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but unfortunately he does not have his rocket boots. Yeah, a little bit disappointing. This has not stopped me being Cad Bane, as he has been my go-to bounty hunter ever since I had access to him. In all fairness, there isn't all too many bounty hunters who have the capability of dual wielding, and it is really overpowered, especially when you upgrade the bounty hunters. And with this phenomenal character model, how can you not be Cad Bane? Still would have loved rocket boots, but hey. And like I stated earlier on in the video, the young Chewbacca modelling is definitely inferior to the regular Wookiee model. Well, this one is more superior, and that's Black Chrysanthemum. His little golden chest plate in all sense is kinda adorable, but he does not sound adorable. Some of the sound effects on this character are out of this world, and they really make him feel menacing. Even to the likes of his blaster, you definitely feel the sheer force of the impact, not to forget how much damage it deals. In conclusion, the Book of Boba Fett DLC is really solid. The two standout characters for me has to be Black Chrysanthemum alongside the Armourer, and well, Cad Bane is Cad Bane. He is amazing to have, I just wish he had his rocket boots. By a small margin, making its way just above the Book of Boba Fett into the top 5 is Star Wars Rebels. Now, my all-time favourite Jedi is in this DLC, and that is Kanan Jarrus. They did decide to use the Season 4 appearance of Kanan Jarrus, which in my eyes is the more iconic variation of this character. His lightsaber form within this game is the exact same as Obi-Wan's using Form 3, but it does go to suit him because he is actually blind. I really love how he sticks his hand out in front of him. Then there is his Padawan, who is Ezra Bridger, and they have mixed up all the seasonal appearances of the characters. For example, Ezra Bridger is his Season 3 appearance, and Sabine Wren is using her Season 4 appearance. Anyway, in terms of Ezra Bridger, he does go to have a black hilt for his lightsaber, and his lightsaber seems to be a little bit more vibrant than other characters. In a very similar case to Kanan Jarrus sharing the exact same lightsaber form with Obi-Wan, well, Ezra Bridger shares the exact same with Luke Skywalker. Hera Syndulla is a little bit disappointing. The main reason why she is in this DLC is so you can fly around in the Ghost. Personally, I would have either preferred Zeb or Chopper because we don't really have many astromechs that are a part of a DLC, the only one being R2-D2 in Summer Vacation. Then they chose to use the Season 4 appearance of Sabine Wren, and it kinda does go to baffle me why she doesn't wield any items that she does use in Season 4, that being the Darksaber and a jetpack. With Cad Bane being one of the most anticipated characters for the Skywalker Saga, this is the exact same case for Grand Admiral Thrawn. This was such a breath of fresh air because this character was built again from the ground up, very similar to K2SO. He has his own unique idle animations alongside walking animations, and he just looks incredible. His stance just gives off so much authority, and they really did capture the entire presence of Grand Admiral Thrawn in this one plastic Lego character. Looking back at it, Star Wars Rebels and Book of Boba Fett could have gone any way round really, and well, next up is Mandalorian Season 1 at number 4. The characters included are Greef Karga, Cara Dune, IG-11, Mandalorian and Queel. I have spoke. Queel is one of the only few DLC scavenger characters, and he is really useful in the earlier stages of the game, and that's about going for him. He possesses all the abilities of a scavenger. I have spoken. Then there is Greef Karga, and you have to play the Rocky soundtrack for this one. He's just your average dual-wielding bounty hunter. Cara Dune in all essence is fine, though it kinda disappoints me how her rifle is not rapid fire. It should be a lot more like this rifle here. IG-11 is IG-88. They are pretty similar, well, they're identical. The only thing that changes is their appearance. Though it may seem like this DLC is a little bit disappointing, well, we still have the main character, and that is the Mandalorian, who is, well, the first ever LEGO game character to have a companion character, and well, he still is. And his companion character is Grogu. I mean, look at him. Not to forget, this also gave us the amazing duplication glitch back in the day, and I think it is worthy of this position purely down to the Mandalorian. And hey, while we're on the topic of Mandalorian, making its way into the top 3 is Mandalorian Season 2 at number 3. Just to show how incredible this DLC is, it actually did go to make it into my top 10 LEGO game DLCs of all time before, well, I knew the other Galactic Edition DLCs were on the way. So the DLC goes to include a total of 5 characters, these being Fennec Shand, Boba Fett, Bo-Katan alongside Ahsoka and Moff Gideon, otherwise known as Gus Fring. Anyway, in terms of the characters, Boba Fett and Fennec Shand are very similar to each other, and they're kind of just variations upon your average bounty hunter. Bo-Katan, in all honesty, is a little bit of a standout. I really love the sound effects upon her blaster and just the printing on her Beskar armour, and she does have a jetpack. Now, we have never, ever seen the Darksaber in a LEGO Star Wars game, and well, Moff Gideon wields the Darksaber alongside a blaster, and he can throw detonators. He does have the exact same fighting animation as Vader, but oh well, I can see past it because the Darksaber is just so incredible to swing with the sound effects. Then there is Ahsoka. Now, Ahsoka is one of the only few Jedi/Sith characters who has the capability of dual-wielding 2 lightsabers consecutively. With this being the case, they needed to build their own animations for this character because obviously she's dual-wielding 2 lightsabers, so she is built from the ground up. With Ahsoka evidently being created specifically for DLC with all of her animations being unique, you kinda have to place this DLC at number 3 as it also has the Darksaber. Come on. Anyway, well, next up at number 2 is, well, you know, give us the Clone Wars theme, the Clone Wars. And oh boy, did this DLC not disappoint. There's just a few minor things that probably pull it down from being number 1 on the list, but it's still an amazing DLC. The characters included within the DLC is Captain Rex, Ventress, Maul, Gar Saxon, and Savage. Just in case you did not know, you could actually unlock Savage within LEGO Star Wars 3 The Clone Wars. Even though there was no legitimate way in actually unlocking him in the game, you had to use this exclusive code here, and that's the only way you can get him. But hey, he's finally here within the Skywalker Saga, and I really love the yellow rendition of the Zabrak species, which is, you know, Darth Maul's species. This to me is a perfect portrayal of Savage Opress. I really love his chest plate that makes him a lot more bulky like he is in the show, and I just think it's a really good portrayal and he looks really menacing. Then we have the Crimson Dawn attire of his brother, which is Darth Maul, and this is the outfit, and he fights the exact same as Maul within the game alongside Savage Opress. He has the exact same fighting style. In all honesty, you should have gave him the Darksaber. That would have made it a lot better. Captain Rex has finally landed within the game, and well, it's about time, buddy. It's nice to have you. Oh, and yeah, he also has his own unique idle animations. The character is as what you expected. He is amazing to play as, and there's just one annoying thing. His blasters are red, not blue, though this may be fixed. Another fan favourite character is, well, Dooku's apprentice. Well, was Dooku's apprentice, being Asajj Ventress. Now, they did decide to use the appearance they did choose to use within LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens Clone Wars DLC, and I'm not majorly fond upon this appearance of Ventress, but it's still Ventress. To me, it would have made Ventress stand out a little bit more if they decided to equip her with her skirt piece from the earliest seasons of the Clone Wars, as obviously they have already animated a skirt piece model, an example being Princess Leia or Zuckuss. I love Zuckuss. For the majority, she does have her own unique idle animations alongside just her stance, but she does share the exact same fighting style with Ahsoka Tano. Our last addition to the Clone Wars DLC is a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one, and that is Gar Saxon. In all honesty, he is your average Mandalorian with a blaster, but his character model just looks so amazing. Look at it. Ooh. Not even joking, this is some of the best LEGO game character modelling I have seen. I really love the lighting and the overall colour scheme, it really does look beautiful. And well, the next one is definitely having a happy landing at number 1 on the list.
Hello there.
And that is the Kenobi DLC. The characters included in this DLC is the Grand Inquisitor, the 5th brother, Reva, Kenobi, and Vader battle damage. In all honesty, I'm not massive on the actual show of Kenobi, but I am a massive fan of this DLC, as for the most part all of the characters have their own unique animations, and I love this rendition of Obi-Wan. Through the likes of how they went to animate his poncho, and it does not beat Qui-Gon Jinn's poncho, nothing beats that. However, if you are paying close enough attention, you will notice the luminance of Obi-Wan's saber is a lot different and more accurate to the show, and I really appreciate that. Vader battle damaged is definitely the most underwhelming character within this DLC, as for me, I really prefer the battle damaged version of Vader from LEGO Star Wars 3 over this one. And yes, I am aware this is based upon his fight with Kenobi, but I really wish they actually matched it up with the source material, this obviously being where his helmet is shattered. Then we have the 5th brother, who is, you know, calm down buddy, calm down, he's always angry. The 5th brother does go to have some of his own unique idle animations alongside animations, and I just love how incredible he looks within the world moving around on his helmet piece. Same goes to apply to Reva. I really love how both of them are very accurate to their characters, and for me I prefer the the fifth brother. I like the more bulky appearance with the dual-bladed lightsaber. And finally, we have one of my all-time favourite characters, and that is the Grand Inquisitor. I really love the little animation where his lightsaber starts spinning and he starts flying up and he starts panicking. That, again, is built specifically for the Grand Inquisitor. Unlike the other Inquisitors, the Grand Inquisitor does attack with one blade activated. I don't know why, but I find the little hook piece on their back to be really adorable where they put their lightsaber. It just looks, yeah, adorable. And I know a lot of people are going to be mega disappointed how his lightsaber does not spin when attacking, and well, yes, it is a little bit disappointing, but you got to remember they are moving on to the next LEGO game, and I cannot wait to see what they have in store. And it will be, you know, mega exciting. Now, Kenobi and Clone Wars alongside Mandalorian Season 2 are all really strong DLCs, and for the most part, could go any way around really, depending on personal preference. And anyway, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and if you did go to enjoy, a like would be mega appreciated, and please let me know which DLC you are most excited for, and if you want to check out any of my other LEGO game videos, there'll be a link here. Anyway, I hope you all have a fan-dabby-dozy week, and I'll see you in a bit. Adios.